Hi all, Plantside Agent here. Today we're going to take a look at a JetBoil type cook set by WideSea. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. I came across this stove on AliExpress, and the price was such that as a collector I said why not. Uh, Talked about being a JetBoil type stove. It's not a complete knockoff, similar, because I do own a JetBoil, so I already have one of those, so I kind of know what they're like, price wise. So anyway, I said, what the heck, AliExpress. Of course, I'm never going to buy anything too elaborate on AliExpress because, to be honest, I don't always trust them. What you're getting is first run. I think sometimes you might be getting end runs, knockoffs, seconds, who knows. But so I went ahead and got it anyway. I think it's right around 32 bucks. I figured as a collector, you know, you can blow that kind of money on a meal and you don't have anything to show for it. Okay, so let's get started and see what you get with this. Here's the box. I've never heard of this company, but they do have some products. In fact, I did buy a pot, a French press type pot from them also because it was inexpensive. So, but I'm a compulsive collector, so what can I say? I'm not apologizing. It's just what I am. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and break this down. Like I said, it's like a JetBoil. It does attach to, well, any size. Oops, let's go ahead and take the pot off. It comes off like a JetBoil, and let me get up in here and see it. It does lock in to the burner face, which is good. That's the main reason I bought the JetBoil, was because of that. Because I use mine on my kayak. My kayak has a console on the front with a cup holders, and the JetBoil fits inside the console with these smaller cans. And because it's on the locks in, I don't have to worry about, you know, if the boat pitches and rolls, I don't have to worry about it dumping hot water in my lap. And I've used it many times, and it works very well on the boat. It's kind of fun to do. But anyway, it does lock in, and this, like JetBoil, it's got the heat exchanger in here. Just for quick comparison, here's the JetBoil. Look at its heat exchanger. Looking at it, there's more vanes on the JetBoil. Like I said, this is a cheap knockoff, so it's not going to be 100%. So if you want, and also I think the quality of the workmanship and everything you get with the JetBoil is a much better tool. But if you're on a budget and you just want one for the same kind of reasons I do, security, like if you're a klutz or something, it's less likely that you're going to, you know, around camp, especially with the a base attached, it's going to be pretty difficult to bump this off the stove, which I've seen it happen. So anyway, so it does attach. Like I said, I'm not too sure. I haven't put the burner out, but I suspect this burner is not quite as robust or heat as the JetBoil. I am going to do a boil test at the latter part of this video, and I'll probably do a boil test comparison with the JetBoil, because I think the JetBoil is going to be your baseline for any of this style cook system. So you do, like I say, then let's cover the pot first. It does come with a neoprene wrap, which feels pretty good. It's kind of velcroed on there, so you can, I guess, take it off or if you need to. It has handles. Regular wire handles, where the JetBoil just has a cloth handle. 6 1/2 does of another. Let's see what else. Of course, you get the lid. Now this one is also, so that's kind of the pot. Let's keep on with the pot. It says it has measures up to 750 milliliters, but they don't recommend it. In fact, it says right here in the, you probably can't read that, but there's a 500 milliliter mark, and it says max, 2-cup max, so they don't recommend it. And I think that's same with the JetBoil. They don't recommend you filling it all the way to the top, because I know the JetBoil is very vigorous boils, so if you were right up the top, it'd probably spill out or who knows what. So anyway, you can put as many as 750 or 3 cups in it. So, and you could probably use it if you wanted to. Okay, that's yeah, and it comes with a rubberized type plastic handle. This one also is what's it's called a French press or coffee maker. So it does come with a French press strainer, and then that screws in to this little red dot on the lid. So what you can do, screw that on, and then you can kind of pop it out. So that way when you're, after your water boils, when you want to do your French press, you can set this on here and then just push it down. So that works out real well. I didn't figure that out right away. I thought it's going to be kind of awkward if it didn't pop out to try to push it down, because you'd have to do this kind of a nonsense with it. But anyway, that's what it does. It's a nice feature. How long that's going to last, I don't know. And I guess while we're on the French press, I'll just talk about that. If you're going to store all this inside the cup, you're obviously going to have to take this part off, the shaft for it. Make sure I'm staying in frame. And the one issue I see with it is when you unscrew it, where you can see, when you unscrew it, the little nut, well, it is kind of somewhat held in there by the screen, but it could pop out. And if it does, in the field, this baby's gone. You can guarantee that. It comes in 3 parts. There's the screen for it and the other piece of it. So I think if you were going to use this in the field, this type of a French press, in fact, the other WideSea French press uses the exact same thing. What I would do, and what I'm going to do, just is I'm going to glue that in with a little JB weld. Just put a couple of dabs in there, so that way when I unscrew it, I don't lose the nut. Because once you lose that little nut, there's no replacing it, I don't think. So anyway, that's the French press. Well, whether I'm going to use this or not, I'm undecided. I thought about getting the one that you can get for the JetBoil, but then I thought, nah. Then and when I'm done, I'm just going to have to, clean all that coffee mess out of it. So I think I'll just use it for boiling water and pour it into I have an insulated cup that's also a French press, so I'll probably do that, or use it for pour over or cowboy coffee, or any number of ways of making coffee, and not mess with trying to keep this thing, deal with this. So anyway, that's the pot port. Now the burner, unscrew it here. Comes with, it'll also fit, well, obviously it'll fit any, but this one's not going to fit in the pot. If you get a bigger butane, only the small one will fit. Anyway, so it's kind of it's not as nice as the JetBoil. This isn't a comparison, so I'm not going to dig the JetBoil out. I might do that later in a video. I don't know. Time will tell. But anyway, it's got the burner. Just doesn't look as big. It does have a piezo igniter, which is nice. Here's the valve. Nice little valve, which will flip down so you can get it in the pot. Plastic. So that's not too much. And then also it came, like I said, it came with the burner, the pot, the French press gizmo, and also a pot, or a holder or base for the propane canister, which is good to have. And it's a folding one, and it's snug. Come on, get off of there. There we go. So it does fold up, so all of it will fit in the pot, just like the JetBoil. Like I say, size, I don't know if I did a size comparison. JetBoil is just a little bit taller. And with the JetBoil, you do get this is becoming a JetBoil comparison anyway. But anyway, it comes with this little bowl. I've never used it, but if I wanted to, it's there. Now, the only problem I had with this Again, like I said, AliExpress. I'm not too sure if they're all this way or just this one. When I got this in the mail, this was wrapped in plastic, and it was actually, gotta flip that down, in the bottom of the pot. But if you can see, the lip on this is just a little bit wider than the opening of the pot, so it doesn't, to get it out of there, I tell you what, I had to really reef on it to get it out. Luckily the plastic was pretty good, because I used the plastic to pull this sucker out, because it was in there good. I'm thinking about, I was debating on one or two things, just leaving it as is, not worrying about it, or getting it out of my grinder and grind that little bit of a lip down, because that's not going to affect how it fits on the pot. I mean, it does lock in there good. That, as you can see, it's, I don't know if you can see or not, but it's grinding that off is not going to affect the performance of the pot at all. They probably should have done that at the factory, just as part of their manufacturing process. Maybe that's the reason I got these so cheap, is because they're a little bit not as good. So that, or the other thing I could do is just leave it, because it just fits in there. And like I say, when you put this stuff away, you can put, normally this would go on the bottom, and then you'd put, at least that's the way it's done on the JetBoil, is the burner goes in first, and then you can put your canister on top. Or actually the base goes in very first. So looking at that, I don't think it really makes a big difference. You can slide the fuel canister in, you can put the canister support in, and then you can just, this will drop in and the lid will still fit on it, and there you go. Oh, quick side thing, it did come with a stuff sack, but this is pretty flimsy nylon, but it's a stuff sack nonetheless. I don't know what I'll do with it. So anyway, the lid will fit back on it, so that works too. So I might just go ahead and leave it this way. Also, what I think this does too is, by doing it this way, I don't have to worry about dropping the canister on the top of the, well, I guess this would probably work, I don't know, better. There's probably other ways of doing it, but you don't want to ding your piezo or mess up your burner. So, but I'll probably, I don't know, I'm still haven't decided which way I want to go. Grind it down so it fits in the bottom. It doesn't have to fit in the bottom. I mean, you still got, it just works fine. I think the only reason you'd want it to fit in the bottom is so that you could get, right now, if you take this all apart and set it in there, you don't have quite enough room to get the lid back on. That's if you're going to use this. So you probably would need to grind that down so it would fit a little bit closer. But since I'm not going to use this, I'll probably just leave it like this. Actually, I'm thinking about using this one just to stick it in the car, just as a backup, and as a backup kind of heater. So if I'm going to use it at all. Let's see, what else can I talk about this? There's not too much to it. So just going to go ahead and see what kind of burn performance you're going to get out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up for a boil test, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, we're all set up for the boil test. I've got 2 cups, and I did use the cup marks. I didn't mention earlier that this is graduated in cups and milliliters, so I went to the 2 cup because that's what I use most of the time. 500 milliliters, just a little bit more than 16 ounces. So anyway, I've got 2 cups of water at 57 degrees. So we'll go ahead and fire this off and see how long it takes to bring it to boil. I suspect it's going to be about the same performance of any other butane burner, but not as good as the JetBoil. But let's see. I'll open her wide open. The JetBoil does roar like a jet. Oops, forgot to hit the button. So we went to, started heating up pretty quick. Too much yak and not enough science. But let's just, I'll get back to you when we get a little bit closer. We're getting close, 208 degrees, a little over 3 minutes. So let's see, we're coming up on, hear it boiling away. Look at it shake. There you go. 322, and I was a few seconds late on that, so we'll just say let's go 325, which, let's turn this off. That's a respectable time. Yeah, I think it's about the same as what you'd get on probably any of these heat sink type stoves. So the JetBoil, I'm pretty sure, is a lot faster. I haven't really timed it, but when I've used it on the boat, it boils really fast. So anyway, overall, what are my thoughts? Of course, it's not the finest quality in the world, but the price is right. It will boil water in a respectable amount of time. I think the manufacturing is good enough. It's going to last as long as anything else. So it does fold up nice and compact. I do like the all-in-one sorts of systems, so you don't have a lot of other stuff floating around. So overall, I'm happy with it. How I'm going to use it, I don't know, or I'll give it away, who knows. So, or it'll be part of my children's inheritance, and they can auction it off on eBay. So that's about all I can think about this right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.